What's going on YouTube? Twitchy back with some more Awaken Chaos content. Today's video we're going to be looking at another Rift of Chaos dungeon. This time it's going to be Arctic Goliath. This is going to be a stage 3 auto team. So if you do enjoy the video, make sure you thumbs up and make sure you subscribe if you are interested in seeing my future content. Thanks. Here's the team we're going to be using today. So we've got Jacosta top left, Aaron top right, Akron, D'Angelo, and Santis. Yes, we are going to be bringing poison back in the meta. So it's really crucial to have a 5 Aaron for the ultimate cooldown reduction. I think this team comp can go quite a bit further than 3, although it is going to take quite a bit of investment. Currently, Akron only has a few books. Jacosta is not booked. However, if you get her abilities maxed booked, then you do unlock more cooldown on her ultimate ability. So I can definitely see some more cheesiness there because it's going to provide you that extra mitigation. Maybe even booking these poisoners just so they can potentially survive. But once again, that's going to be so much investment. And not to mention, if they do come out with future heroes that have cooldown reduction like Aaron, like Winstrix, then I do believe that we can have some really cool comps with these 5-man formations. Let's talk about Akron first. So his ultimate ability is going to help us by giving our whole team more HP, as well as helping us fight the mechanic where if we don't have X amount of buffs, I believe it's 3, then we're going to be frozen. So this is a permanent buff, so that's really nice, as well as his trait. Currently, I only have 2 books in Akron, so I plan on investing in him to potentially push this team up further. Let's look at his stats. We've got HP. We are currently trying to pump defense as high as possible. 4.8k is not a lot. I've seen some crazy 6k Akrons in Discord. For speed, we are sitting at 197. However, I believe the boss's speed is about 185, so we can drop it for more defense, and that's pretty much all of the stats that we were really focusing on. So for his set, we are using Raider 2-piece to help us speed tune, because guys, if you aren't faster than the boss, he's gonna hit you with a huge counterattack. The only hero that I've had survive that is Bachelard, so they've kind of found a way to implement a speed requirement subtly. So once again, Raider 2-piece for the speed tuning, and then Revival 4-piece, because guys, Revival is going to be so huge in PvE content. Make sure you're farming Queen for Revival for your supports, maybe even your DPS depending on what comps come out, as well as, I mean, if you guys want to see what artifacts I've gotten so far, I've got a defense % main stat for the Astro Tome, as well as another defense % main stat Grail, which it's super nice. We're trying to focus, we're trying to pump up defense as much as possible. Next up, we have the limited hero Aaron. I feel so bad for any of you guys that missed the Attack on Titan collab. This guy is going to be so crucial. I imagine he's going to be the answer for a lot of cheese comps that we'll be seeing in the future. However, for this specific team, A5 is required. It is a pretty big investment. However, I think it's definitely worth it just because you get ultimate ability cooldown reduction for the entire team once per round if you apply enough debuffs to activate his trait. It is a game changer. So that's mainly what we're using him for, along with his ultimate helps us apply even more debuffs to get his trait off, as well as his basic has some debuffs. Stats, he is going to be moving second in the team right after Jacosta. We've got him at 29,000 HP. We're really just focusing on bulk. We're focusing on speed tuning, faster than the boss. Second in the turn order right after Jacosta, as well as some focus to apply his debuffs. So once again, HP, defense, speed tuned, and focus is going to be what we're looking for Aaron. Also, gear, we have 4-piece Revival. The 2-piece wasn't really important because I was just trying to speed tune him properly, and Revival is going to be super insane. I'm going to be most likely using Revival for many of my supports in future guides for Rift of Chaos, so make sure you guys are farming that Queen of Tides. Now we've got the lovely Gangelo for all of my OG soft launch, global launch players. You probably know this as the most broken legendary. He's actually been power crept a little bit. He's really only used in Gemini and of course the earlier gear dungeon stages, but poison is back specifically for the Ice Chaos Rift dungeon. At least that's what we're going to be using today. But if you don't know about Gangelo, his trait is what makes him amazing. He increases poison damage dealt, so if you pair him with another poisoner, which we're going to do with Santis, he can have some crazy damage just from poison. So his role here is just going to be our damage dealer, as well as him applying debuffs to proc Aaron's trait, which is going to help further reduce our ultimate cooldown. So for his stats, we are looking at 28k HP, 209 speed because we have him tuned to move right after Aaron, focus once again to apply the debuffs, and really we're looking for bulk, HP, defense, speed tuning, and focus. For his sets, we've got a 4-piece revival set. Revival's amazing on supports, anyone that you want to survive, because this is an amazing way to self-sustain. And then our 2-piece is going to be Raider. This is amazing for speed tuning. Ash and Queen of Tides are important PvE dungeons to farm before you guys want to start really taking a look at Rift of Chaos dungeons. I highly recommend gear farm first. Don't even worry about these. Let all of the whales, the krakens, the OG veteran players come up with guides, and then you guys can copy the comps, save your resources, and that's it for Gangelo. Next we have Santis. So Santis is here to combo wombo with our Ganj, really just for the basic, the double poisons, as well as we're trying to apply X amount of debuffs per round to maximize the amount of cooldown that we can get from Aaron's trait, and her ultimate is always nice for extending the poisons. We actually aren't going to be using any of her abilities for this specific auto team, but I'm sure people are going to come up with comps that are going to be utilizing this. For her stats, we've got 26k HP, 2.2k defense, 198 speed. She's going to be 4th in our team's turn order, so right after Gangelo, because we want Gangelo to apply the poison first so she can get the double poison on her basic proc. We were also looking for focus because she is a debuffer. Once again, HP, bulk, speed tuned, and focus. For her sets used, we've got Revival 4-piece, Raider for the 2-piece for speed tuning, and that's it for Santis. Last but not least, we do have Jacosta. So I want to take a look at her trait real quick. I do think A5 can potentially help farm higher stages because this is going to be a lot of mitigation. Each surviving ally grants this character plus 20% defense. We've got 5-man formations now. Who knows? Let me know down below in the comments if you've been lucky enough to have a A5 Jacosta. How tanky does this make her? And then once again, we're going to be using her for her ultimate ability. This is going to be a nice cleanse for the bomb that the boss applies, as well as invincible. Heal over time. The invincible is going to be nice mitigation, but we're trying to make sure that we are having as much uptime on these buffs as possible so we don't get frozen. She's also got a really nice special ability. She's got a heal, applies immune to the target, and a team-wide defense up, which synergizes with Hackrin, as well as more buffs. We need as much buffs as possible for this fight. That's why I think Jacosta or Muriel are super key characters. For Jacosta's stats, we try to make sure that she had the highest HP, so she was taking the big single target damage from the boss. Also some defense. She is speed tuned to move first on our team, so she's at 219 right now, and that's pretty much all we were looking for. Bulk and speed tuning, that's pretty much all you need. And then for sets used, we've got Revival for the 4-piece. This is going to help her sustain, help go back to 100% HP, because really she's going to be taking a lot of damage in this battle. For the 2-piece, we've got Raider for speed tuning, and let's get to the gameplay. Now we are going to be using Sundering Purgatory and Guy's Renewal. Let's start on auto. I'm 99.9% sure this is a super high win rate team. For the abilities, we are actually starting off with just making sure that Santis is only using her basics, as well as Gangelo only using his basic. This is specifically tuned just so that we have Aaron's trait time to reduce the cooldown perfectly, so Jacosta will ult and cleanse the bomb only once the bombs are applied. So as the fight goes on, we're kind of going to see Jacosta is going to be popping her ult pretty often. It's going to be really nice mitigation, as well as getting the HP increase buffs from Hakrin is going to help us survive even more. We've only got one HP increase buff so far, and we're already at 38k for Jacosta. We really need to pump as much HP as possible so she survives that big single target damage that we just saw there. Revival, we're going to see how important revival is here for helping everybody self-sustain. This ultimate is gonna boost Jacosta to 43k HP, so it looks like she's gaining about 5k HP per HP increase buff, which is really nice. So these are the bombs that we were kind of talking about earlier. If Jacosta isn't timed correctly for ultimate to be available there, then we're just gonna get nuked at the end of the round. And we're mainly just going to see most of the damage coming from Gangelo, coming from Santis. We might even see the poison debuffs up at the top of the, right below the HP meter. It might even max out to 10. I've seen it a few times. I'm not sure. You know, I was testing with Santis having her ultimate ability on, but I just, for some reason, the tuning wasn't correct, and Jacosta was popping her ultimate around before the boss applied his bomb. So right here, this is kind of a close call. This is where I see the worth or the value in booking Hakrin for the extra defense, as well as maybe putting some potions in Jacosta for A5, as well as, we didn't really talk about this too much, but currently Jacosta's ultimate ability is on a 4-turn cooldown. But if you do book her and get her abilities maxed, it does go down to a 3-turn cooldown, plus the cooldown reduction with Aaron A5. We could potentially see some really nasty, cheesy comps coming out in the future. Not only for water, but maybe fire and wood as well. That's why I'm kind of excited for these dungeons, because, you know, they are super difficult, but I highly doubt that the developers were anticipating us to use like raw stat teams to kind of just bruiser the bosses down. I've got a feeling that they really want your team comps to be unique and have specific mechanics to get the bosses done. That, or they want us to fully book our team, level 70 them, get our elemental bonuses maxed. It's definitely going to be a grind, but it's just a nice concept. I like what artifacts are going to be bringing to the table, really. Let me know down below in the comments how you guys are feeling about the artifacts. Besides the difficulty, do you enjoy the concept? Now, we've nearly killed the boss just from the poison damage. I'm excited to show you guys who's dealing the most damage. If you haven't guessed, it's definitely going to be Gangelo or Santis, but Jacosta is able to sustain us. Revival set is really important here, guys. Make sure you're farming that queen. But here we go, we've killed the boss. Now, this is not the fastest team, although it gets the job done, and I can see this maybe clearing stage 4, stage 5 on auto if you have proper investment with books, ascensions, elemental bonus, etc. Let's look at the battle report. So who would have guessed Santis carrying the team, Gangelo right behind her. This is actually so nice with the 5-man formations, because really, you know, we get options to bring 2 damage dealers, 3 damage dealers, maybe even 4 damage dealers and 1 Zitlin. Who knows? I'm excited for the future to see what team comps you guys come out with, and thank you guys so much for watching. That'll be it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.